Hello, and welcome to today's issue of Chapter by Chapter for Eye of the World. I am your host, Will Cowan, and with me, like always, is Mr. Steve Haynes. Steve Haynes, how you doing today?
Today I am doing swell.
Swell? That's great. Today we're going to be looking at Chapter 14, The Stag and Lion. There's a weird fascination with... not even weird. It's just there's a fascination with like bars and innkeeps in this series. Like it's just like
The bars and innkeeps are the staple of any medieval fantasy story. Well,
yeah, that's like
you need them.
it is the Facebook of fantasy. Like that's where you get.
Well, where
your
else
news.
do you stop on your quest for some ale?
Yeah,
and bread?
exactly, and some information, and just getting to know what's going on around the world. And that's really what our heroes are doing right now. They come to the Stag and Lion to kind of rest up, but as they come into the Stag and Lion, like Lan and Moraine, who are now going under the aliases of Alice and Andy. I can't remember.
And Anders?
Anders? Moraine and Lan are looking, they're coming into the Stag and Lion and they're starting to look for information. Like the first thing that they do as soon as they come into the inn, they say hi to Master Fitch, who's like an old friend of theirs and they've seen him a couple of times, but they're looking for information. And Lan and Moraine go and do their own thing while Rand, Matt, and Perrin and Tom all are just kind of shuffled off to take some baths and
Go wash up.
Yeah.
We'll bring you some bread.
Yep.
Shine your swords, shine your shoes.
Get cleaned up.
And fill those stamina bars.
Look, we all know that every bar that we go to, you gotta have a bath.
I remember many nights stumbling into a local establishment and ordering a pint of delicious ale and getting washed up by a comely lass.
They're like,
or a man.
They're like,
a man lass.
Sir, can you please get out of our sink? We need to do dishes.
It's hey, if you can't pay for your if you can't pay for your wares, your food and wares in coin, then it looks like you're doing the washing up for the next guy that visits the bar. His name is Andra.
Andra.
We were close.
Alice and Andra. I said Andy.
I said Anders.
No, neither.
So I think I'm closer.
You're probably closer, but I don't know. Andy sounds like a fake name to me. If I was going to go in incognito, I'd be like, Andy.
Andy sounds fake?
Yeah, Andy.
It's the only one that's a real name.
No. I mean, like, when you're trying to hide, when you're trying to, like, this is my fake name. Andy's a good fake name.
Andy's a great fake name.
You know, like...
Because nobody wants to be named
Nobody
Andy.
wants to be named.
I'm sorry to all Andys out there.
Yeah. But you with that name, you can kind of disappear. Like, if you have, like, a Chantel or something like that, people are going to be like, that's a recognizable name.
Chantel's front and center.
Just before Rand and the rest of the gang go into their bath, he overhears Moraine talking to Fitch about talking to Gildon, and she's like, also, where's Min? I want to talk to Min, this person named Min. And that's pretty much all we get from that conversation before they're kind of like shuffled off into their bathtubs. And
because it's kind of like eavesdropping.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing that Rand does a lot in like this series so far, is like he kind of just listens to things that are going on. And I guess that's fair because he's not really like, he's not controlling the plot at this point. He's very much just a passive.
Well, and it's a way to tell the story and world building through Lan's perspective.
Yeah. So he doesn't know what's going on outside the world of Emmons Field, so he's kind of like he's taking it all in with us. We are Rand.
Or land.
So when they get into the tub, there's a bath attendant who's just hanging out, watching them, making sure they're bathing.
This is what I'm talking about. Bath attendants?
Yeah, they got it made. I want a bath attendant.
How do you end up in that position? I need to know.
Is it? Do you get promoted to bath attendant, or is it at a demotion? What is the steps? What are the steps here to become a bath attendant? And as they're kind of like, soaking it up in the tub, they start talking to the bath attendant, and he starts mentioning that like, oh, we hear about Trollocs in the forest, and then Matt starts like almost blabbering about like,
he's like, oh, Trollocs in the forest.
Let me tell you about Trollocs in the forest.
We saw Trollocs in the forest.
So many Trollocs, and everybody's like, shut up. And there's a great little line in that scene where he's just like, he's looking at everybody like, why are you all idiots? We definitely saw.
Yeah.
It's just
guys. We totally for sure saw Trollocs, you dum-dums.
Yeah. But they're trying to like, they shut Matt up because they can't tell people this. Like, they can't tell people those that information. I think we covered that in the last chapter, that like if they explain to people what they're doing there from Emmons Field, then a group called the Children of the Light might take interest in them. And Children of the Light is like this group of people. Have you ever played the Witcher games at all, Steve?
Only yes. I'll answer that with yes.
Okay. So there's this group, the Eternal Fire in the Witcher stories, and they pretty much operate in the same sort of fashion where they're just like, they're very anti-magic, very anti things that aren't just like straight up people, regular ass people. And Children of the Light.
Well, that's a great explanation, but I am going to intercept you with some glossary action for Children of the Light.
Hit me with that glossary.
The Children of the Light, a society holding strict ascetic beliefs dedicated to the defeat of the Dark One and the destruction of all dark friends. Founded during the War of the 100 Years by Lothair Mantilar to proselytize against increasing numbers of dark friends, they evolved during the war into a completely military organization, extremely rigid in their beliefs and completely certain that only they know the truth and the right. They hate Aes Sedai, considering them, and any who support them or befriend them, dark friends. They are known despairingly as White Cloaks. Their sign is a golden sunburst on a field of white. End glossary.
That was great. That was fantastic.
I hope you liked it.
Yeah. Once we put some music behind that, ooh.
Listen, this is all I got, guys. Please don't take it away from me.
So yeah, that's the reason why they can't talk to anybody about why they're there. Because like if people found out that Trollocs are interested in you, the White Cloaks are gonna find out, and they're gonna be like, "Why are they interested in you? Get the hell out! You're gonna be interrogated or something. Not good things are gonna happen."
Super suspicious. Nothing good.
Yeah.
No.
Lan shows up. He gets into a bath as well. I can't remember if there's more of a conversation that happens at that point. I think it's just like there's a lot of bathing going on.
There's a lot of bath talk.
There's a lot of bath talk.
Like, oh man, my feet are killing me.
I've got a chill in my bones.
Hey Rand, I got this corn on the bottom. I got this corn on my big toe.
Look at it.
Wonder if you can help me out here. Give it a scrub.
Look at this corn.
Yeah, it's just a lot of bath talk. They're just chilling.
Yeah, and they wrap up their bath, and then the next step they go, they leave the bath, and as they're leaving the bath, Rand sees Moraine in kind of this dining hall, and she's talking to this tall, slender, kind of. I want to refrain from using the word tomboyish, but that's kind of the only like.
Well, she's dressed like a boy. She's in men's clothing.
Yeah, she's in men's clothing. So I don't know if that's like a style choice. For men, because Rand is like, that's a woman, because like if she's dressing up as a man to disguise, then she's obviously not doing a very good job.
Yeah.
So it must be
Well,
just.
maybe she just gets a better fit
Hey, look,
in men's.
no problem with that. No problem whatsoever. But as he's talking to her, as they're talking, they stop talking. They stop talking. And she's
Sure, that's a way of saying it. I would also just say they stop talking, and then the girl takes off.
Yeah, she just takes off, and then they come in for dinner, and they just chow down on some food, and they have a little bit of a conversation. And Bland starts talking about some of the news that he's got from just asking people around the bar, and he was able to confirm that the battle at Gilodon, the false dragon, did actually win, and that his name is Logain.
Logain.
Which I take Logain whenever I have a headache.
I take it to grow my hair back.
It's a good one. It's an all-around purpose drug. But Logain in the world of Wheel of Time, he's the false dragon. Or he might be the real dragon. We don't know, really.
We don't know, but he's a dragon, reputation dubious.
Yeah. And he did win that battle. And they don't... So some Aes Sedai were sent from Tarvalon or Tarvalon to kind of fight him during that battle at Gilodon, but it's unsure like what happened to those Aes Sedai. Some of them may be missing. Some of them might have actually joined him, and a bunch of them could have been killed. They don't know what's going to happen, but because of the news, Moraine pretty much decides at that point. She's like, "Well, we're going to stay here for about 2 days. We're going to hang out here, just kind of relax, and then we're going to get back on the road." And then they go to bed, and then the next part here is probably the most interesting part in the chapter.
We got ourselves another dream sequence.
I love the dream sequences. The way he writes dreams are fun.
They are. They're awesome.
Yeah. So in the dream, Rand he dreams of being in a room like this dining room thing that's very like trying to remember exactly how each.
It's like a long stone hallway.
Yeah.
That's like a dark hallway.
Yeah, isn't there like a fireplace?
Like castle hallway.
Fireplace in there, or like I thought of it as more like a dining room or something like that, but it's a big stone room like in a castle or something like that.
Well, he starts in like a long hallway, and then walks down the hallway and gets into like a big chamber.
Right.
Which is what you're thinking of.
Yes. And in that chamber, he sees a man there, and he's in front of a fireplace. Correct? Like he's like there's a fireplace there, and he can't really tell who it is. And at this point, Rand doesn't really he can't really decide if this is just a dream or a nightmare. And then as the guy starts talking to him, it becomes clear that this is Baal Zaman. It's the Dark One. That is his theme song. every time he shows up.
Yeah, it took me a while to realize that this wasn't the devil. I thought it said Beelzebub.
Oh man, I thought it was
Beelzebub.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's not, but it kind of is.
I mean, it's the Dark Lord. Like, what more do you want?
Yeah, he's described in like he has like a mouth and eyes of flame.
Yeah. You know, maybe it's just me, but I love thinking about like evil guys like this as like Matthew McConaughey types.
Okay.
Like kind of skinny, like
fire eyes.
You know, Matt. Look, I don't have to explain Matthew McConaughey.
You don't have to explain. I got it.
So Matthew McConaughey starts like basically he's taunting Rand. He's like, he's like,
he's giving him the spooky runaround.
Yeah, he's like, you think that the White Tower, the Aes Sedai are here for your side, but they're gonna use you. They're gonna use you like they used all the other false dragons, and he starts naming them off, like this dragon and this dragon and this dragon and this dragon, and one of them is Logain. He's like, they're gonna use you like they use them. You're nothing to them. There's nothing that you can do to make yourself important to them other for their whatever their cause is. And he also mentions like the events that happened in the prologue where he was talking to Kinslayer, and that Baalzamon was the guy that drove Kinslayer insane and made him kill his wife and everything like that.
He was the other guy?
He was the other guy, yeah.
In the prologue?
Yeah,
so he was the dark cloaked spooky.
Yeah. Matthew McConaughey.
He was Matthew McConaughey. Of course, yeah.
And as he's like, and Rand is like trying to get away, and he's trying to force himself to wake up, and he's like scratching at the door, trying to like break himself away or whatever. And there's a point in that conversation where there's a rat that ends up on the table or in the front on the floor. There's a rat that shows up
in front of him.
And Baalzamon takes his finger and he starts bending his finger just normally, but then like the rat's screaming and screaming and screaming, and then his back breaks, which is
just by moving
his finger, which is like a little disconcerting. Look, man, like Matthew McConaughey has a lot of powers, and I don't know.
And then he starts to do it to Rand right after, does he not? To prove that he's not dreaming.
I honestly can't remember. I don't remember that at all.
Yeah, he starts to do it and like inflicts a little bit of pain on him.
Doesn't that wake him up?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Then I think I remember that, because that wakes him up, and then like Rand sits up in his bed and he starts thinking like, should I tell Moraine about this? Because he kind of believes Baalzamon at this point, and we don't know what the Aes Sedai whole deal is, and
no, we still don't. And he wakes up and everyone else is asleep, but Moraine is the first one he thinks of, because I don't know, she's only a wizard that you're rolling with, I guess. Well, I guess you kind of got another one, but you're rolling with a high class wizard. You're probably going to ask the wizard about your dreams about the devil.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
I mean, if you trust that wizard, that's the whole thing that I think is trying to get across here. That he doesn't know. He doesn't know if he can trust the Aes Sedai, because he's just kind of going along with this right now.
Yeah.
So
another thing that Baalzamon says is that Rand's parents were chosen by the White Tower. And what the fuck? What does that mean?
What does that mean?
I mean, it's a question. It's a mystery that we'll get to later in the novel, I hope.
Probably this is probably a question that's going to linger till
if I'm going to be honest, I mean, there's a lot of questions that came up from Baalzamon, and I didn't know like half the things he was saying. If I'm going to be honest.
Well, there's
Eye of the world, doom yet to come. I mean, he's got a mouthful to spit to Rand.
Yeah, there's a doom yet to come. Like there's is that a possible another breaking of the world? Like what is Matthew McConaughey?
Well, he speaks of the doom yet to come. He speaks of the eye of the world as well.
Mm-hmm.
So it's I don't know.
We'll see where it goes. But that pretty much wraps up this chapter for today, with Rand sitting up in bed thinking about Moraine and Matthew McConaughey.
Yeah, that's right where we leave off.
And then tomorrow we'll be looking at the chapter Strangers and Friends. So we'll talk to you all then.
We'll see you tomorrow.